Yeah, what we have this morning, Errol, is there was an attack or an attempted attack in Beit Shemesh, which is to the west of Jerusalem. There, according to police spokesmen, two individuals tried to board a bus in that town. People on the bus pushed them out. Apparently, these two, according to the police report, stabbed a 25-year-old Israeli who is now in moderate condition. Immediately, the police showed up. Shot the two individuals. They've been injured. They're not dead. We understand, according to the latest we've just received from the Israeli police, that the two are Palestinian men from the town of Zurif. Now, this comes just a few hours overnight. There were reports going out that there was that a so-called terrorist was killed on a bus by two Israeli soldiers. Well, it turns out he was, in fact, an Israeli Jew, and it's not altogether clear why it got to the point where he was shot dead by these two soldiers. And it comes just 2 days after an incident south of Hebron where a Palestinian truck driver hit and killed an Israeli. Initial reports was that it was an intentional hit and run incident, but it turns out that he turned himself in to Palestinian police, and Israeli police are now ruling that it was probably merely a traffic accident. Errol?
I mean, it is just crazy when you think about it. And then there's been so many violent lone wolf style attacks these past few weeks, it's hard to even keep up. You wonder what kind of document or agreement could possibly address that or at least diffuse it.
Yes, obviously, in the case of lone wolf attacks, and of course it's important to keep in mind that no militant groups have claimed responsibility for any of them. They praised them, but they haven't claimed responsibility. Now, what sort of sparked this current round of tension and violence was the impression of many Palestinians that the status quo, that unwritten informal agreement about arrangements for the Temple Mount, or the Haram al-Sharif, as it's known to Muslims. Now, we understand Secretary Kerry is going to propose to the Jordanians, who have custodianship over the Temple Mount, to the Israelis and the Palestinian Authority, that the status quo be put down in writing, and that there be a mechanism whereby the three parties can consult and therefore perhaps avoid the kind of tensions that have flared so violently in recent weeks. Whether that will actually bring this current spate of attacks and clashes to an end is very difficult to say, because oftentimes when you have a deterioration of the situation here, it takes on a life of its own. There are clashes and attacks, people are killed, people are wounded, and it becomes a cycle that oftentimes becomes disconnected from the original cause or spark to that cycle. So we shall see whether Secretary Kerry can, A, pull off some sort of agreement between the three parties, and that may perhaps lead to a period of calm before the next storm, of course.
Right, a cycle of violence Israelis and Palestinians are all too used to. Ben Wiedemann, thanks very much for joining us this morning, past 9:19 in the morning there in Jerusalem. Thanks.